Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Thursday, the 23rd of October 2025. So, momentum stocks melt down, spreads to broad market, Bitcoin and bullion extend losses, but there's a bit of a bounce in the metals as I'm recording. No bounce in Bitcoin or bullion. There wasn't yesterday, but as I just mentioned, there is overnight. AI dumped as Gamma goes negative. And US stocks retreated amid US-China trade frictions. And more on that. Stocks hit on touted US export control response to China. And one more news item, which I'll just pull up here. Trump imposes sanctions on Russia's two biggest oil firms in major policy shift. He is not meeting Putin today when he was going to be. I think it was Budapest they were going to be meeting. He's no longer going to be doing that. So now we've gone into sanctions. So things are starting to escalate a bit between the US and Russia, so just keep that one in mind as well. And there was one more as well. Let's just have a look at this. Benefits to rise 3.8% after inflation announcement as price of beef jumps 27.5%. That's a massive jump in the price of a steak. So if the price of beef has jumped 27.5% and we're at 3.8%, something wrong with Rachel's maths. Well, actually there isn't, because we know that beef isn't part of the basket where they measure inflation. That's why it's called the CPI. It doesn't take a broad measure anymore of basic commodities like butter, cheese, etc. It's whatever esoteric things they can actually add in, like lip gloss and disposable cameras that 50% of the population use, and nobody else uses disposable cameras apart from that Pillock Starmer who was seen recently using one. So whether that's a subliminal message there, I don't know, but I found it rather amusing, to say the least. Right, let's move on and have a look at the markets. I don't think there's any economic news today. No existing home sales. That's all we've got from the US. You would have the weekly claimant count as well, but that doesn't seem to show up there either. So and then of course tomorrow we've got the inflation numbers, haven't we? CPI numbers out tomorrow there. Right, let's have a look at the markets and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow yesterday, despite making a new all-time high the day before, the market dropped yesterday, but overnight you can see that prices are attempting to get back above the 5-bar moving average there. No major sell-off. It is above average there, but overnight the prices seem to have tested the 20-bar moving average and wanting to turn around and move back to the upside. So everything was fine and dandy until the cash market opened, and there you can see from the volume, and then prices trading all the way down to the 200 MA, trying to rally a bit before the close, or profit taking coming in from the shorts, lifting the market a bit. But overnight the low from yesterday has been tested, but we found buyers at this level, bringing the market up slightly there. And in the German DAX, similar picture, market down, up on the overnight, a bit of selling there as well, but we came off the low. When you look where the close is in relation to the volume, very important thing to do as well. You can see that price is there wanting to move back to the upside. In the 30-minute chart, we've got prices trading sideways and then falling out of bed. You can see there, but they soon buy back the market at the S2 level, and then we've been up on the overnight. But we have hit the 200 MA there, DP and close at the moment as well, so that needs to be taken out. And if not, then we will see more downside pressure there. So in the S&P, also selling yesterday, but again, look at the close in relation to the volume. The market came off the lows and closed above the 20-bar moving average, and we got a bit of support to the left there as well. Got to get back above the 89% retracement if we've got any chance of tackling the all-time high there of 67.65. Again, fine in the pre-market, but as soon as the cash market opened, prices moved lower. But we did get some short covering there and profit taking from the shorts, bringing the market back above the DP levels there and the 200 MA as well overnight. So you can see a bit more volume there as well. In the FT 100, well, Rachel's bacon was saved once more. market managing to rally yesterday, needs to get through the 78 and 89. How this market is at these levels is beyond me, but then I could say the same for the rest of the markets at the moment, how the valuations, etc. It's just the twilight zone now of trading. Volumes are still huge here. It looks like there's some coordinated effort to get this market back to the upside, because those volumes are quite exceptional. I think you would agree. So something's going on here, and the fact that all the other markets were down yesterday, and yet the FT100 managed to put in a sterling performance, no pun intended, moving prices up towards the 89% retracement before they actually stopped. So something very strange about yesterday, and it was up and launched from the start of the release of the inflation numbers, which came out as previous, not as forecast, which was 4%. And then in the afternoon, the market moving lower with the FT, but then moving back to the upside there. So overnight, the US dollar is moving back to the upside, which is slightly ominous for the metals market, but we've had a good run on the last couple of days as far as the dollar is concerned. Just again, be cautious of a retest of the lows in the metals. So let's have a look at that in a bit more detail. So in the silver market, actually, nice to see that the volume is more or less the same as the previous day. That's very interesting. Again, we didn't have any major selling in this market. I was just watching a video while setting up to record with Alistair McLeod, which I will link in the description, about just you coined the phrase, the coordinated effort that he believed was perpetrated the other day to get the price of silver down. I mean, we're down 8%, massive drop there, but I mean, it's of no concern to me, because when you've got all of the fundamentals pointing towards the supply issue or demand, lack of supply, then this is just a way of just shaking out all of the week longs. It's one hell of a shakeout, I have to say. I've never seen anything quite like it. Although, as I said in Tuesday's, or was it Monday's? Yeah, Monday's alert, that it looked set to want some sort of a shakeout, but I wasn't expecting one in the realms of 8% and $6 down from the high. But there you go. It is what it is. I've seen it before, and it'll recover. Just needs to settle and move back to the upside. 30-minute chart, very choppy. You can expect more choppiness today as well. But if we can get back above the $50 per ounce level, that will be a good start, and again show that things haven't really changed that much. We've got some buying in gold as well. They've managed to slam the price, and of course the objective here is to buy at a lower level, and a coordinated effort by all of the banks, and they do it. We know they do it because they've been caught doing it before. Then you can then bring the market back up, and also central banks have been the biggest buyers of gold since 2010 as well. That being the case, they have the clout. They can do whatever they want. There's no doubts about that one either. You have to look at the money printing over the last 15 or so years. So yesterday, gold was up on the overnight. It was pushed down once more, retested, and is now seems to have got the froth taken out of it, as the selling seems to have disappeared at the moment. So let's have a look at the gold-silver ratio. And a bit of a positive here for the silver market, because the gold-silver ratio is moving down, which means that the price of silver is moving at a slightly faster pace to the upside than gold at the moment. So yeah, I mean, this was just wicked, absolutely wicked, that is. But no surprises that, from 79 to 84, a change of 5 on the gold-silver ratio is something else, which only meant that you could buy an extra 5 coins for the same price of 1 ounce of gold. So it's not that bad when you look at it in that way. So yeah, with a bit of luck, we'll start to see the gold-silver ratio starting to move back to the downside. Right, let's have a look at yesterday's trades. And in the pre-market session, we see prices moving higher, but it didn't move much higher following this. And that was obviously predicated on the inflation numbers, which saw the market move lower to begin with, and then reversed and moved back to the upside there. So let's have a look, and then of course we open and we see the market slammed, and then it becomes supported, moves to the upside, and you'll see they're headed towards the close, and then the market runs out of steam and switches to the downside, and then we make a new low during the main cash market session there. We then get into a sideways move where some of the profits that were made in the two former trades are given back as we had a potential long, and then the short, we see the market bouncing off this, and again the market closing off the low, so there must have been some buying inside of this bar to do that, and then prices coming back as you'll see there, and then stuck in a sideways move. That's a very quiet move. That is the 2-minute price bars, and then eventually we move to the upside mid-morning, which has not been an uncommon move of late, and then get into the afternoon session where the Dow sold off, the S&P sold off, but the DAX wasn't too bad, but then eventually it succumbed, as you'll see in a moment. 2 short trades there that were profitable, and then we moved down to the S1, and then through the S1 and down to the low, where you will see at this level, where does the buying come back in? Just down towards the low there, and then prices are sideways to higher as they bounce off the low as much as they can before there is another wave down, because the US continued to show weakness. So where are we overnight? Let's just have a quick look, and you'll see we're trying to move back to the upside at the moment, to the DP and the close. That's going to be the first port of call. You've got the 200 MA, the 50, the 20 and the 5 all in the right order, just whether they can continue to move to the upside or not there. Right, that will do it for this one. Things seem to be a bit calmer than they were certainly for yesterday, and certainly a lot better than Tuesday. So let's see what happens as far as the metals are concerned, that is, of course, but let's see what happens with these momentum stocks again, and if there's a further escalation with regards to the sanctions with Trump as well. It all seems to be getting very scary, to say the least. Right, that's it for this one. Have a great day, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.